morning, grinders. Welcome to DFS pregame show here on RotoGrinders. I'm Jordan Cooper, aka Blenderhead, your buddy Blender HD. You could follow me there on Twitter. And this is the show where we'll go over last night's slate. What a slate! What a slate! We're gonna see that. We're gonna say that in the summer for MLB. We're gonna say that like every day. What a slate! Can you believe what happened? Right? We're gonna say that all the time. And we'll talk a little bit about we're going to build lineups for the early slate, right? That's what we do on Thursdays. A lot of times we have this, this early 1 o'clock or some type of slate, and a lot of times people like it where we just build lineups just live, just like I'm just going to build my damn lineups, right? So I got 20 lineups entered, dummy lineups, obviously on DraftKings for the early slate, and we'll just build them, right? Well, I'll build them. I'll show you what I'm building. I probably won't listen to you in the chat, but whatever. But I'll build them, right? Maybe you could chime in a little. But as always, interact with the chat. If you have DFS strategy questions about yesterday's slate, today's slate in general, doesn't even have to be MLB. Whatever you want, type them in and give me those thumbs ups. Right? Give me the thumbs up. Still got Gatorade. Still working on the Gatorade. I got a lot of Gatorade now. Keep myself hydrated throughout the show. Give me those thumbs ups, subscribe if you're new here, click that notification bell to know when we go live in the morning. I see you guys here. Suki Singh, Doug Montgomery, Ryan Edwards, Card Fan, Michael Dompier, Brandon McNeil, Mike Blaze, David Martin, Brett Garrettson, Hog Lawrence. I saw a couple of lineups towards the top from Hog Lawrence yesterday in the bat flip. DJ Degenerate, DFS Degenerate, Shannon Lambert, Daniel Hutchings. We got all the people in the chat. Right? Michael Dompier says, I think I'm learning. I won one plastic fork last night despite my pitcher getting less than 0 points. 7th place in the mini-max. Right. I'm assuming you're talking about Bailey Ober, right? Right. Minus 0.1, right? Probably something like that. But I mean, it's not like many pitchers did well yesterday, right? Bassett. That's pretty much it, right? Pretty much Bassett. No, I mean, Nola did well. I mean, Nola was fine until the 5th inning. I mean, he had 11 strikeouts, but then he gave up 7 runs. So yeah. So I mean, if you take a look at the pitching yesterday, I mean, just the pitching. Max Fried, okay, okay, we had pitchers that actually did well, just that no one had them. Right? Bassett did the best. Max Fried, okay, against the Mets. Dylan Cease against the who did they play? Twins? Who did the White Sox play? I have no idea. But I mean, even Kobe Allard, right? If you wanted to play him instead of Bailey Ober, right? But I mean, most of these pitchers, I mean, Shohei Ohtani, I can't believe how owned he was on DraftKings, right? 23% owned in the bat flip. He was more owned in the smaller field stuff, like 32% owned. I was kind of surprised. I didn't have him at all. I didn't even consider him. I was playing more Yankees than Ohtani. But yes, Nola, Ober. I mean, my pool was pretty much Nola, Ober. I mean, Ober only on DraftKings. I didn't play Ober on FanDuel. So Nola, Garcia, who was getting squeezed in that. I mean, come on. I mean, he shouldn't have given up. He should have maybe 15 points and not 7. And I had mostly Bassett. I had some Musgrove that didn't really work out, and I had some Cease. So kind of that was my kind of pool right there. But I had mostly on FanDuel. Bassett was 1,200 less than Nola, so I'd Bassett in like 60% of my lineups on FanDuel. I managed to make money yesterday, even though I had some Braves, but you needed Ozzie Albies. Like if you didn't have Ozzie Albies 76 points on FanDuel in your lineup, you weren't gonna win first in anything, right? So I had Albies lineups, but Albies with like, I had Angels. I had some stuff going with Walsh, Goslin. Yeah, but then it would be like Iglesias is sitting there with 9 points at shortstop. It would when Grissom has 47 and who else had someone else had 47. Grandal, right? He had double home runs, right? I mean, you're gonna need all those people in one line. And I didn't have enough of barely had the White Sox. So I wasn't gonna get there. But we see across the board as some of the top sharper players. I mean, Nola. I understand Nola on DraftKings over Bassett because of the Bassett was 300 more on DraftKings as opposed to 1,200 less on FanDuel, and you still need to play 2 pitchers, right? I mean, I understand paying down. Like Ohtani was 8,700, and it's like, okay, get that little savings It's like you might as well just go down for Bailey Ober, right? At that point, 5,700. Very hard to make Nola Bassett lineups. I mean, Musgrove was okay. Dylan Cease, I mean, like, yeah, I understand why Otani, I guess people, with Judge out of the lineup, Otani has good splits against right-handed batters. I guess he didn't, I mean, truthfully, in the bat, he didn't project well. Especially in comparison to Cease and Musgrove and Bassett and Garcia and Nola. I think Ober actually projected for more raw points than Otani in the bat. And of course, Ober was 3,000 cheaper. So that's the main reason I didn't play Otani. But we could see here, I mean, but even across the board, I mean, it's not that much. Yeah, FJ Bourne, Piano Club had a bunch, but still, like a Hubro, barely any, OCD, barely any, Ending, barely any, Royal Painted, none. Luis Garcia was okay, whatever. And Bassett, yeah, people had Bassett, some didn't. Ending only at 2%. Some people took a chance with like Steven Matz, I guess. Got 1 point. You got 1 point. But I mean, pitching, I mean, you just had to survive pitching yesterday. If you survived pitching, you had a chance. But as far as the bats are concerned, I mean, the chalk on DraftKings yesterday was, I would say, the Padres. The Padres were on FanDuel. So you got Tatis at 20%. You got Tatis. You got Machado at 15. Yeah, well, who else? Where's Grissom and okay, maybe not. Maybe Pham 9%. I mean, they were chalky, but not Profar, Cronenworth. Did I miss Grissom? Yeah, okay, 5%. Okay, I mean, parts of the stack were more obviously Tatis and Machado because they fill infield positions. They're going to be the most popular parts. Surprised to see Vlad to be as owned as he was at his price yesterday, right? But really, not many people had him across the board. Like 17% owned in the bat flip, but a lot of sharp players like didn't seem to have much. I understand Torrens was the popular punt catcher, batting fifth, 2,300. Against Mats. I get it. I mean, he only had 2 points. I mean, I would much rather play the Mariners stack. I played a bunch of Mariners stacks on FanDuel. I don't get why Austin Riley was 20% owned on DraftKings. Was there a reason for that? I don't know. Because I mean, it's not like the Braves were popular. It's not like the Braves were even that popular, right? The Astros were more popular. It looks like the people spend up for these Blue Jays, right? Take a look here. Springer and Bichette and Teoscar with the Blue Jays, really? Really, at their prices? How did people fit that in? I don't know. The Phillies got some. I was high on the Phillies. I was way over on the Phillies yesterday. Let's see. What else do we got here? Cheap Gavin Sheets, right? He hit a home run. Well, I mean, the White Sox just went nuts. The Red Sox, right? Yeah, what happened yesterday was we had the rain issue. I mean, obviously, we had rain issues the entire slate. Games getting delayed multiple times, right? And the Cincinnati San Diego game ended up getting called, so you only got 6 innings out of that. But the main issue yesterday was what was going to happen in that Royals Red Sox game, right? They start delayed, right? And they ended up getting the whole game in eventually, right? They played until like 1 in the morning. And then like what was going to happen in Philadelphia? Like when was the rain going to come to knock like Nola out of the game? But if you listen to Crunch Time last night, if you listen to Crunch Time, our premium show, RotoGrinders Premium, get your premium membership, $10 off your first month with the link in the description below. I mean, pretty much Roth said that, like, I mean, there's a risk, but I mean, the rain wasn't going to come for like 2 hours or so. So it's like, I'm not fading a starting pitcher for maybe there's rain 2 hours from now. Right. Well, maybe he doesn't pitch maybe comes out after 93 pitches and doesn't pitch that last inning because of a rain delay or something. I don't fade pitchers because of that. I fade pitchers when it's like this game may not even start. Like that, then I get it. Then okay, that's fine. So Nola, I still played. I still wanted more Bassett than anything, especially since I was playing more on FanDuel. And then the KC Boston, the more and more, once that game was delayed, the more and more I wanted. So I I actually upped my exposure to Boston and Royal stacks because I know people are going to play them less and less, being scared. People are scared. Right, so the Royals were, I mean, Hunter Dozier 8%. Where's Sal Perez? Sal Perez was 4% with the home run. Merrifield, who was expensive, 4%, 3%. Maybe we take a look at the Red Sox. Like JD Martinez was 4.7%. A lot of sharp players just like said, I don't want to have anything to do with that game. A lot of them did. Me, what I did is that I OIS'd it. Right? So I played on FanDuel, played 150 lineups, and I just OIS the whole game. Like all the Royals and all the Red Sox, only in stacks. So yeah, but I mean, they still existed in like over 20% of my lineups. Because I would have like, 8% 4-man stacks of both teams and 6% 3-man stacks, something like that. End up coming out to, a quarter of my lineups still have, well, some of them have like both in it. So yeah, I mean, so I don't mind that, right? You have a 4-man Kansas City, 3-man Boston, and then the whole thing gets shut out and you get zeros. So it's like, okay, I'll burn a lineup like that. But I don't want the one-offs infecting everything, right? Like this game doesn't actually play. I don't want to be stuck with the Kiki Hernandez one-off with 0 points in a lineup that would have won first place. So like to me, that's what I do, right? When it's risky, and I still want to play, and it's still an appealing game. Like if it's risky and it's barely worth playing, like I don't mind Xing those out, right? Oh, it's going to be 1% owned anyway. So like, what am I gaining? Oh, now it's going to be a 0.5% owned because of the weather concerns. Like it's probably not the greatest projected spot anyway. So that I don't mind Xing out. But when it's a good spot and people are going to start getting off of it, well, I mean, I could leave it one off. Sure, I could, but that's a little bit more risky on the rest of my lineups. So I'd say I'll OIS it. I'll OIS it, which makes it easy, especially on lineup HQ, because you just click you just go right down. You go right down. And you go to the teams like today, like the Yankees and the Angels. I don't even know if that game plays. Right, according to Roth, it doesn't look all that good. Right. Too much model disagreement to pinpoint exact time it impacts. Hopefully, no before first pitch. Likely starts dry, likely has a delay, and wouldn't be shocked if it never finishes. Right? So there may be a problem. There may be a problem there today in this early slate. But you just go and you just go, okay, select the teams and you just go OIS, 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 and just if I'm building 20 lineups today for the early slate, just if I wanted to play some of this game, maybe I decide to just, I don't mind the 5-man, right? I could maybe play a 5-man stack, but just like not one-offs. I don't want them to be in other lineups. You could do that. Easy way to do that. Much harder before the OIS button. That's why you could use this OIS checkbox for a lot of different things. But that's what I did yesterday. We could see here. I mean, we see a lot of yellow up here for the chalkier players. Kyle Tucker, 16%, like the Astros. They didn't do anything, right? That's what happens, right? Shohei Ohtani comes out and gets destroyed, walks 800 people, gives up 7 runs, and Matt Harvey comes out and has a nice 3 innings against the Astros. Right. Up is down, down is up, side to side. Who knows? Who knows what's going on? But a lot of sharp players were on the Angels against Herman yesterday. Looked like here. I mean, it seems like it's all over the place. Yeah, but Angels are consistent. Seems like. I wouldn't have played David Fletcher. I mean, he got 12 points, but come on. The Mariners, I think several sharp players were over on the Mariners. Dylan Moore, he had a good game. Just looking through here. The Phillies seem to be a sharp team. The White Sox on DraftKings, I understand. Like if you played the White Sox on DraftKings, I don't mind that. On FanDuel, I didn't see a need to. You know why? Because of Bailey Ober. The chalk SP2, Or say for the Yankees. I mean, I didn't realize that Ohtani was going to be this owned. But when you have that chalk, cheap SB2, and it's not like Bailey Ober is like a great pitcher or anything. We barely know that much about him, even. He could end up being a great pitcher. Who knows? You take a look at that and you go, okay, I'm just going to stack against the chalk, cheap SB2. I mean, it wasn't 22% is still chalky enough for this slate. So I understand it on DraftKings, but on FanDuel, Ober's like 1% owned. How much relative value are you gaining if the White Sox don't even project that well? And it turns out a lot of the White Sox got there on the bullpen, right? Oh, Bailey Ober, he's not having a good game. Let's bring out Matt Shoemaker. It's like, okay, you made things worse, right? You made things worse. Might have just left Ober in rather than Shoemaker out there giving up dongs. Let's see. Going through the YouTube chat. Michael Dompier says, seemed like every tout was on Ohtani except Cardi in the bat. Well, that's why you don't use biases. Or you look at data and you go, 40% strikeout rate against righties this season. What does that mean anything? How much weight should you be putting on that? Well, that's what you look at a projection model for. And Cardi knows what he's doing. Ohtani is a much higher variance pitcher than people think. Okay? I think that's the main thing. He does have control problems. So his outings could, if he's getting the ball over the plate, he's a good pitcher. If he's not, then look what happens. There you go. Umpire was extremely tight with Ohtani, but he still pitched bad. No, it was one pitch. I think that pitch, maybe it was he went on tilt after that. He should have gotten that strikeout against LeMahieu with the first at bat of the game. It was a 3-2 pitch. It was like it should have been strike 3. That was in the zone, right at the top inside part of the zone, and he didn't get that call. Other than that pitch, he was way. I mean, most of them weren't even. They weren't even close. I had the game on. I had MLB TV on in front of me. I was watching that. DJ Dog 3K. Do you have any MLB takedowns yet? Not this season. Overall, yes, sure. I have plenty. This season, no. Second, I can't. Second, I have a lot of. I have a second. I have a fourth. I have like 2 sevenths. I have 3 tenths. I have 4 14ths. I mean, I have a lot. The top 20s, sure. I got tons of top 20s. I got a lot of steak knives, right? But not number one. And the payouts are hockey all the way to the top. Profitable, but barely. That's you have to win first. You have to get it. So I mean, hopefully by the end of the year, I'll have one, right? Getting tired of seconds and fifths and eighths. Right, like every other day, I'm in the I got at least one lineup in the top 20, a lot of the time. But no, not first. No, something prevents me from getting the first place. Shannon Lampert asks, Yankees game going to be chalk for the early slate? According to our ownership projections, yes. But I don't know if that's going to go down based on this weather concern. I don't know. Are they going to get the whole game in? My attitude, if that game's going to be chalky and there's some risk there, I'd rather maybe not even play it or not play much of it. Danny Lewis says, interesting. The winner of the main slate on FanDuel seemed to mostly have one-offs. Is this, in your opinion, because of the size of the slate? No, it's because they're just random lineups at the top. You can get all the high scorers. If you got Grissom and Grandal and Albies and Bassett and just managed to just get all the double dong one-offs, Walsh and Harper. Like, yeah, you win. And then feel free to close your eyes and do that. There are plenty of people that build lineups like that, but you try to do that every slate. Come back to me in a couple of years and ask me, and you'll be on food stamps. Like, it's negative EV. You're much more likely to win by just stacking two teams. Then try to be the lucky one. Always notice that the lineup that wins with some messed up lineup, it's never someone's, oh, I've seen them before. It's some random person. Right? Making a 1-1-2-1-1-1 lineup. It's not the same people. So how is that repeatable? No, there's a ton of random garbage lineups in large field contests. And they've every shot of they still have a probability of winning. That's why you don't study the winning lineup in any contest. Don't care about the winning lineup. Do we talk about the winning lineup? Like in the bat flip, what won yesterday? A solo bullet. Won. At least it was a stat. It was a 4-4. Okay, at least it's a reasonably constructed lineup. 4-man Atlanta, 4-man White Sox with all 4 home runs. Right? You didn't need it much out of Swanson. You had Martin Perez, and that's all you needed, and Bassett, and there you go. Okay. Squash Blues. It's a stack. Okay, here's some stacks, even if it's a single bullet. You can see some random stuff in here. 1, 2, 3. Here's kind of a little messy lineup. Some Miami. I mean, this could have won, right? Typically, it's the solo bullets or something. Well, here's a stack. Mostly on DraftKings, there's stacks here towards the top. Right, I'm not going to check like 150 lineups because they're not playing like one-offs. So like right here. And this is kind of a mess. 3-man, 2 White Sox, 2 Yankees. Yeah, sure. Build lineups like this and let's see how repeatable it is. If you ran a simulation on these types of lineups, they're negative EV. For the most part. I mean, obviously depends on the projections of certain players. When you have multiple outlier performances, then you just manage to get those guys in the lineup. Some guy has a triple dong, and this other person has 50 points. And especially when they're lower owned, if you could, I got 3 of those guys in my lineup, and then kind of the rest of your lineup doesn't matter anymore. I like when people look at the winning lineup and go, oh, maybe I should do that when it's a random garbage. That makes them, that helps me in the field, right? Makes worse lineups. Makes it easier for me to win. Peter Viles. Oh, bro's here. Maybe it's God that's preventing you from taking first. No, maybe he wants to give me steak knives. Maybe he just likes giving me steak knives. DFS Degenerate. How do you go about diversifying your lineups? I've shown myself working on the lineup HQ on all the pregame shows. For example, if you run a 5x stacking, get 6 players among 50% in your stacks. Do you manually go in and drop their exposure? Yeah, that's what you want to do. Do whatever you want it to do. You're telling it what to do. So many questions about optimizers are like, how do you get this done? Like, well, what do you want? That's the key phrase. What lineups do you want to make? It's not going to tell you what to do. It's going to try to jam in median fantasy points. That's all it's doing. And if that happens to be those 5 specific guys from a stack and you're never going to get some other guy because they're a slightly worse point per dollar value, you're not going to get it. And it's the optimizer, it's not like it hates that guy. The optimizer doesn't know the guy. It just knows these points. It just knows this column, the median fantasy points column. Tries to give you as much of that as possible, unless you tell it otherwise. So if you don't want the same 5 guys in all of your stacks of one team, then you have to tell it what to do. Do I want 100% Freddie Freeman in my Brave stacks? No. Well, how much do you want? You tell it. Jordan, what is your stack size preference for 5-game slates like today? Are you still mixing in 5-3 or 5-2? You're dropping to 4-3, etc. I'm playing plus EV lineups. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. These questions don't matter. It depends on the lineup. Smaller slates, correlation is less important because there are less teams that could possibly go off for, 15 runs or whatever. That's it. That's the only concept. When there's 30 teams on a slate, the likelihood of one of the 5-man stacks, I don't know what team it's going to be, the likelihood of one of the 5-man stacks paying off is much higher because there's more teams. 5-game slate, there's 10 teams. Maybe the highest scoring team only puts up 6 runs. Maybe 6 runs doesn't pay off a 5-man stack. Maybe it only pays off a 4-man stack. Well, of course, there's going to be a 5-game slate and 2 teams put up 14 runs. I mean, that could still happen. Just a little less likely. So that's it. But it doesn't mean that, I don't make 5-man stacks. It also doesn't mean on a 15-game slate that you can't make 4-man stack and go 4-3. Depends on the lineup. You have to think in terms of the lineups, not optimizer settings, not constructions. In terms of the actual lineups, the individual lineups. So we'll do that right now for this early slate. Do we at least have? We're probably not going to have the Rangers Athletics game, right? We're not going to have that. This is going to be most of these lineups may have to be switched, right? At some point. Do we even have a Blue Jays lineup? We got White Sox in. Looks like okay. We don't have them in the system, but I see them posted. Collins is in instead of is Grandal in? Yeah, no, Grandal's in. He's playing first base. Mercedes isn't in. Okay. Don't have the Blue Jays though. Why don't we have the Blue Jays? They're one of the earlier games. So I expected that we wouldn't get the Rangers and A's lineups for this show at least. Maybe before lock, maybe 1:00, maybe. So if we have a potential issue in this Angels-Yankees game, at least according to Raw. The game may start, but it may never finish, which may be fine. So I need to get, let's see. I still need to get this Blue Jays lineup. Okay, so what I'm first going to do, I'm going to go to stack projections for DraftKings. Okay. And Dalton Heat Henley Jr. asking the same exact questions. I don't prefer either of them. It depends on the lineup. All I could say is that on FanDuel currently, there are more 4-3-1 lineups that are plus EV than 4-4s on many slates. And I know you're going to take that as, that means you play 4-3-1. And 4 is better than 4-4. No, it's not. There are tons of 4-4 lineups that are way better than 4-3-1 lineups. But there are more in volume 4-3-1 lineups that are plus EV. You have to think in terms of lineups. Until you finally get that you're thinking in terms of lineups, then you'll be good at DFS. You have to think in terms of I know, well, I am building lineups. No, you have to think in terms. There's probably on FanDuel today a 3-2-1-1-1 lineup that is way better than 80% of the 4-4 lineups. But there may not be many of those types of lineups. There may be 3 that are 3-2-1-1-1 total that have a higher expected value than half of the 4-4 lineups. Which ones, which teams, which pitcher. It may exist. I'm making an example, but there could be. So to say that you can't play that lineup because of construction, that would be wrong. That lineup actually has a higher expected value. In general, if you're like, I'm going to build 100 lineups like that with that construction, most likely, if you build 100 lineups like that, 90 plus of them are going to be bad. But there may be a couple that are good, that are actually better than 4-4 lineups. Okay, so that's what I mean. So you can't think in terms of, well, what construction do I play? Well, it depends on the lineup. There are plenty of 4-4s that are horrible. right? There are 4-4 lineups on FanDuel today for the main slate or whatever. Doesn't matter what slate. That are bad. That are negative EV. There are plenty of 4-3-1s that are negative EV. There are tons of 1-1-1-1-1s, the 2-1-1, plenty of those. I don't know if there may not be many, if any, that are plus EV. So you can't think in terms of what construction. On DraftKings, like we're going to build lineups right now. There could be some 3-2-2s. There could be. We'll see. So I take a look at the ceiling, which I mean I get organized by points. It ends up being the same thing. So I'm obviously just looking at the 1 o'clock game. So we have the Blue Jays. They're going to be highest ceiling. We don't even know the lineup yet. So you got the Blue Jays, the Red Sox, right? Do you have any problem in that Red Sox game? Okay, that there could be problems late in that game. There could be. So let's see, the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, the Red Sox, the Yankees are up there. And then we have a drop because I don't see any like 1 o'clock. Then we go all the way down to the Royals and the Mariners. The Mariners look like they're good point per dollar plays, right? These Royals and the Mariners are like point per dollar. They may be popular because of that. Then we go down to the bottom. It's like, okay, Rangers, Athletics, right? Who cares about their starting lineups? We probably won't even be playing them. The batters, right? You take a look down here. So I'm just looking at teams. Blue Jays are not going to rate well point per dollar wise, but they have the highest ceiling. The Red Sox are more appealing from a point per dollar. So I'm assuming the Red Sox may be chalky. The Yankees, that's what I'm looking at. So let's go here. Where's the starting lines? What does this Red Sox lineup even look like? Okay, you get a cheaper Hernandez, Renfroe. Yeah, they're a little too cheap. And then the bottom, Connor Wong, he's going to be catching. So you get a cheap catcher. Okay, now we got the Blue Jays lineup. Semien, Bichette, Guerrero, Hernandez, Springer, Grichuk, Gurriel, Espinal, and McGuire. Okay, so basically no BGO. Okay, that's fine. So we're going to build lineups. I'm going to show you. I'm building 20 lineups. That's it. So we're not even doing that big of a build. So 20 lineups. You'll leave it like that. Who cares about running expense? Doesn't matter. Leave it on. Don't leave it on. Let's see. We're probably playing 5-man stacks mostly. So three unique players. You got to get a little bit diversity. Okay, that's fine. Leave it like that for now. Okay, Angels Yankees is PPD. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, that's off the slate. Now it's a 4-game slate, right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, now it's a 4-game slate. So obviously, all this ownership that we see right here is going to be wrong, unless I don't know if Jamino updates the early slate ownership, because obviously the game is postponed. Rendon is not going to be 42% owned. Okay, so we could start getting rid of that. Okay, now it's a 4-game slate. Okay, let's X these guys out. Dip, dip. Oh, I could do it the other way. I always do it the opposite way. Right, you go dink, dink, exclude. Got the pitchers also. Yeah, we got the pitchers as well. So they're gone. So now it's a 4-game slate. So now I'm assuming Boston is going to be jockey, and probably Toronto because it's just the total. So now we pretty much can't even go by this ownership. So this is going to be a little difficult to figure out leverage when 2 of the teams that are gone may not be reflected in ownership. When we take a look at pitching ownership, I mean, as expected. Some Eovaldi. Is Eovaldi going to be 25% owned? Maybe I want to play more of the Royals. Okay. Berrios. People just don't want to play him. He's not that bad of a pitcher against the White Sox. Okay, so let's take a look. Take a look at pitching projections. So from a ceiling perspective, why is Eovaldi? I mean, he's 8K, obviously. Going to be way more owned than Berrios. Like, this is what stands out. Berrios does not stand out as a great point per dollar play, but ceiling wise, why can't he put up the same amount of points as? I mean, he can put up the same amount of points as anyone else on this slate, right? So yeah, man, probably Bubik's gone, Kikuchi's gone. I guess Dunning is playable against Oakland. Maybe I'd rather play Kansas City against Eovaldi than play Eovaldi. Get rid of him. So Rodon against Minnesota, sure, I get it. Berrios, Minaya, yeah, you can make Hinchin Rue. Do I want to play Seattle against him? What do these stack projections look like? Where's Seattle here? 81. I mean, yeah, good point per dollar value. If Ryu is going to be, that's why I said attacking Ryu and Eovaldi. If they're going to be chalky, at least they're up here. They're not down. Their stack value isn't down there. So yeah, let's do that. Let's make that. We're only playing 20 lineups, so you got to make the hard choices. So just don't even play Ryu, right? We're playing the Mariners against him. And we're probably not playing Oakland, so I don't mind playing Dane Dunning to get a more expensive stack in. So let's go. Let's X out Ryu. So now we're playing Minaya Rodon is obviously going to be like the chalk combination. We got two possibly very low percentage, 3% don't pitchers here. Okay, so there. So we're only making 20 lineups. How many pitchers can I have? I need to use two. And I already said that I want to play some Mariners against Ryu. So I'm only playing 20 lineups. Get rid of it. Why does he have to be in any lineup anymore? Okay. So now we're going to go through with this. I'm going to go to the hitters. Obviously, this team's gone. Okay. Go to the order. Okay. It's not like they project very well. So you take a look at this as who would I not want as one-offs necessarily? Okay. I'm gonna click on everyone. Let's see, Torrens. I guess a catcher I don't mind. Right? Cheap catcher. So really the position matters. What's the bottom of the order? This is really weak. Bowers. Do I want Bowers lefty? Crawford only in stacks the shortstop position. Yeah, something like this. The worst projected players, not as one-offs. Yeah, I see why Ryu is projecting pretty well because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lefties in the lineup. Strikeouts have been down though. I'm doing this primarily for leverage. If Ryu is going to be 40% owned or something like that, why not? Okay, so there's Seattle, Toronto. I look at Toronto. Yeah, let's refresh this. Let's see if we can get the regular lineup in. Let's see. Okay, we get the NAs there. So let me make sure when I build, I keep the NAs in just in case. Okay, so their order with the NAs. I don't mind the Blue Jays. Probably Riley Adams, right? Okay, he's a catcher, so catcher's pretty damn weak on this slate. So I don't mind leaving him as a one-off. I don't mind any of these. Well, Biggio's not even in the lineup. So why is he still in here? Oh, because he's not projected. Okay. Probably all the Blue Jays would be fine as one-offs. Well, because we got McGuire. Okay, McGuire instead of Adams. Espinal, McGuire. Do we want them as one-offs? Maybe not. So where's Espinal? Espinal and McGuire until a bat projects them. I mean, McGuire. I mean, he's a catcher, but batting last for the home team. Maybe not. Oh, it's 3,400. Okay, yeah, I'm not going to play a $3,400 McGuire as a one-off. Okay, now let's go to Kansas City. We're attacking Kansas City. We're attacking Eovaldi, right? So let's see. We probably the bottom of the order. Probably Sebastian Rivero, cheap catcher. Okay, I don't mind cheap catcher one-offs. So, but I don't want Lopez or Dyson. Right? You can see by the projection. Probably don't want them as one-offs. Boston is now, their ownership's going to start going up. Let's see, Connor Wong, cheap catcher, but out for the home team, so maybe a problem with in a bat. And maybe Marwin Gonzalez. We look down here. Okay, that isn't that bad. Okay, we go to Minnesota. Rodon. How many people are going to play Minnesota? Okay. Are we going to play Minnesota? I don't know. Celestino, can he hit a home run? No, probably not. So look at the home run. Okay. Donaldson, Cruz. Jeffers is here. I'm 3,600. I mean, he doesn't project well. I'm just looking at who projects decently. Either raw points or something. Larnach, lefty with Rodon. I mean, he's not going to come out of the game. Right? 430 to hit a home run. Sano is there. He has power. It's 4K. It's not like I'm going to play much. I mean, should I include any of these guys? Maybe include just the power guys. Okay, so we get rid of this. We're just not gonna consider. Even Larnach, Polanco. Maybe we don't mind these guys. 390. That's a hefty price, but it's a catcher, so I don't mind. Okay, so maybe we get some minutes. Maybe we end up getting none of these guys. So I'm curating my player pool. The White Sox. Now we're playing a bunch of Berrios, right? So that's the main key. So playing a bunch of Berrios, which means like Brian Goodwin is going to be chalk, and we're not going to play in 20 lineups. Just say screw it. I'm Xing him out. Okay, why don't we just X? We could practically X out this whole team, right? I mean, they don't even project all that well. Gavin Sheets is just really cheap, but it's not like he projects that well. The White Sox may end up being more popular than they should be. Looking at this. So yeah, screw it. Got to take a stand. No White Sox. Then we look at Texas. We're probably going to be playing Minaya, but Ibanez is really cheap. Eli White could be good. We don't know what their lineup's going to be. So maybe we play maybe White and Ibanez. Maybe we don't mind that. Yeah, look at these bottom. The Rangers lineup's awful. So get rid of that. Do we play Adolis Garcia even? Look at this. Leave them in the pool. In Oakland, we're playing some Dunning, right? Do I want to play a 27% owned Tony Kemp? Is that a thing? Is that going to be a thing today? Should it be a thing? Probably not. Olsen, I don't mind, right? Oh, Chapman 5,700. Who's doing that? No one. No one's doing that. So maybe play some Olsen, Lowry. Who else? What do these home run odds look like? Yeah, really bad. Maybe just play Olsen. Yeah, just get rid of that. There you go, Olsen. And now, because it's only a 4-game slate, I'm going to look at all the positions to make sure that it's good. But let me take a look. Roth has a weather update. Okay, let's see. Okay, Seattle at Toronto has gotten better. KCR at Boston. I think they're going to play in light rain. I think they're going to finish likely in moderate or light rain. I'm leaning this yellow orange for the potential that A, they decide they don't want to play in light rain to start, or B, heavier rain moves in late and they don't finish. I don't think that those are the likely outcomes. I lean towards them getting the full game in, but those are both very real possibilities. Okay, so the KCR Boston game has a bit of risk that maybe some people aren't taking into account. Okay, but now I got to check my positions because now it's a short slate. On a larger slate, I don't have to do this because I know I'm going to get all the positions. So I got catchers here, but I don't need Riley Adams because it's going to end up being McGuire. Let's see, Connor Wong, Rivero, Torrens. I got catchers. I got first baseman. Really, it's these weak positions. Second base. I still got second baseman. I got third baseman. What does shortstop look like? Okay, not much shortstop there. So I'm going to be using a lot. I guess I'm going to be using a lot of like Bichette or Bogarts up there. So I'm not going to have much Crawford or Lopez unless they're in stacks. Yeah, this is going to be tough. I'm going to have the shortstop's going to be a pay up position. So what shortstops do I not have in my pool? Then maybe point per dollar wise. Gleyber Torres, well, they're not playing, right? There's not much here. That's the problem. Yeah, that's gonna be it's gonna be an issue. So let me do this. Since I don't have many shortstops, I'm forcing myself of Bogarts and Bichette one-offs at shortstop. That may limit me a little. So maybe I don't mind Crawford as a one-off. He's batting first against Ryu. Okay. I know it's lefty, but whatever. But I just, instead of being forced to have like just Bogarts, Bichette, and obviously I have enough outfielders, right? Okay. I'm telling you, this is how I build lineups. Okay. This is not, there's no smoke and mirrors here. I'm literally showing you. Obviously, this ownership is going to be off. That's the only thing. Right? I mean, is it updated at all? No, right, because we have all this, Brian Good, okay. Where's the LA ownership? Do we have that gone? I don't know. I don't know. Is this ownership right? I don't know. Did it get updated? Not sure. That's what you get for the early slates here. Right, the late slates, it's fine. The normal, the main slates. Okay. So we got this. Now we're building 20 lineups. Okay. Now I'm going to go into the stacks. Okay, what stacks are we playing on DraftKings? Okay, we're not playing that. Seattle, Toronto, KC, Boston, no Minnesota, no White Sox, no Texas, no Oakland. Right? We're pretty much playing these four teams. And we're probably playing less of this game. I think the Red Sox are going to be chalky. The Blue Jays are going to be chalky as well. I don't know how you fit that in, but whatever. But we're going to primarily be attacking Ryu and Eovaldi. So let's say we play 20, maybe 20 on this and 30 on that. I'll play 30, play 10 and something like that. Something like this. Does that look pretty good? Maybe even go down even further. Maybe 30. I mean, 35 is not going to mean anything, right? What's 5% of 20 is a one lineup. Okay, so it will mean something. Okay, so 35%. Maybe we want less on this game that may have a problem in it. So maybe we're playing mostly Seattle, Toronto. And what, 10%? I'm playing what, 2 lineups of Boston as a 5-man. So maybe we just attack Rio. Maybe we do something like this. Play a lot of Mariners, who are horrible. They're a horrible team. We're attacking the 2 pitchers. I mean, I think Rodon and Minaya, but I mean, I don't want to play Texas. So okay, this is doable. We could do it. I mean, this is a strat. I mean, we're playing large field. This is large field. Let's play Mariners, Royals, not much of the Red Sox. So 2 lineups here. Adds up to 100%. Okay, now I'm going to select 5x, 4, 4, 3. Well, there's 4x. So let's 5x, 4x. Just to see. 3x, probably not. Still probably playing 5-man. I mean, it's a short slate. Maybe take a look at some 3x. Maybe. Right? Make them add up to, just so we get a nice, I mean, they can't be that many 3x's that are going to be workable. Right? If anything, you play 3-3, right? So maybe we take a look at some of that. We take a look at a bunch of these. Probably 5-mans are going to be the most. So let that add up to 100%. Right? Just to take a look. We're just taking looks. Secondaries, I don't know what they're going to be yet. Right? We're just looking at primary stacks like this. Just build 20, just to see, right? Okay. So based on this ownership, like that, I don't know how to trust the ownership. Okay, so we got number one, Mania Rodon. We got a three, basically two Mariners, Soler, the Royals, and a five-man Boston stack. Yeah, if we take a look at the ownership, that's why. 55, 58, 31, 30. Right. Okay. So this is super chalky. 114. We lose 50 points in ownership and barely lose any projection by doing this. So it's still a chalky, but you're playing Connor Wong there. Right. Here's a 3-3-2 lineup. Right. 188. Right. Here's a 3. Here's a kind of a mess also. 112.91. See, I'm looking at lineups. Where does it drop? Because it wants to get, where's these Mariners? These are Royals with Lopez and Dyson and Mania Rodon. It's forcing in Mania Rodon because they're the two best projected pitchers, right? There's going to be a ton of that. Mania Rodon. Maybe the easy way, instead of limiting it by ownership, we just separate the two. Maybe there are Mania Rodon lineups that I could use the Mariners in. But maybe it'd be better if I actually separate them more. Right, because it's not using any of the other pitchers. So I'm going to go, because that's the easiest way. If they're both going to be over 50% owned, just don't use them as the combination. So I'm going to go in Mania, Rodon, and just separate them there. So that's done. And then let's build 20 lineups. These 3-3-2s, I just can't see. I can't see myself playing them. These 3-3 lineups. I know it's a short slate, but I'm more likely to play 4-3, like 4-3-1, or even 4-2. I mean, I'm only really playing two teams. There's not much down here. So it's probably going to be 4-4-3. So let's do 50-50, 5x and 4-3. Just based on the teams that I have. I mean, I'm barely playing any. I'm not playing enough players from these teams to even have stacks. So what are they going to show up as? It's all going to be all of this. So I might as well just do this. Okay. So I'm still getting I'm getting more Mania. Am I getting any Rodon? Why am I not getting any Rodon now? This is expensive. Okay. So maybe 50%. That should give me Rodon, right? Put him at 50. Put Barrios at 50. Just make sure I have no. I don't want. Let's get some Rodon in my lineups. Take a look here. I'm getting Hernandez. Take a look at these lineups. Connor Wong. Seattle 4-3. This isn't that bad, right? 106. 106, 78, 150. Okay, this isn't that bad. This lineup. 4-man, 3-man, Soler. I'm just going through, looking at the ownership numbers and the projection numbers. 140s, 120. Without the Red Sox. The Red Sox may end up being overowned on this slate. Oh, here's a good one. 100 ownership. Yeah, but Nicky Lopez. Yeah, I guess better than nothing at shortstop. Barrios, Mania, Springer one off. Okay, I can see where we're going. Okay, I'm going to take a look at my mostly Mariners, right? So I want to see my distribution of Mariners. I'm getting a lot of Kyle Seager. Obviously, a lot of Luis Torrens, Dylan Moore. I get Haniger. So maybe you tone down the Seager. I get a little bit more diversification amongst my Seattle stacks. Right? Blue Jays are still going to be popular. Soler, Perez, Dozier, Lopez, Santana. Okay, this isn't horrible. Four lineups with Connor Wong in it. Hernandez, because he's a second baseman, he's coming in a little bit more. Maybe we could turn that down. So I really want to go under on the Red Sox, but I don't want to have no Red Sox. So let's Danny Santana. Can we get these? Can we get these down further? Something like that. Is that going to help? Let's see. Let's run 20 now. Okay. Let's look at a Forsins. A lot of Manai. Yeah. Okay. Berrios. Right. You got 5 Rodon lineups. Okay, what do these lineups look like? 106, 163, 109. Okay, I don't mind that. 163, 138 at 106. That isn't bad. Okay, so now I'm starting to get lineups that are more doable. Okay. Let's see. Okay, 123. I like that. 123. Do we have anything 123? Calling out loud. Can we beat 123 here? Anyone? 92. Okay, we could beat that. 92, 123. 92, 176. Like these lineups I wouldn't want to play. Okay. So you see what I did. I'm looking at what the total ownership sum, assuming these numbers are right. Like I'm not sure if they are, but well, we're gonna act like they are. Okay, that's the better way of putting it. If it was the late slate, I'll be manually altering this, but it's not. So I'm just going under the assumption. Just use it for the concept that I'm doing. So I'm looking. So I want to play more of these lineups that are under like 123 that project in the 105 range. So maybe let's do it the hard way. Let's do it the blunt tool. Just put it in as 123. Like that's the highest that I could go. 49,000 number of unique players. 3. Maybe I have to turn that down even. Maybe let's see if we can get it like this. So now I want 20 lineups that are closer to that than those lineups that have 180% ownership that have similar projected numbers. So now I'm going to try to get like where that's the top. Okay. Still giving more Seager. So now look at what I'm doing. I'm getting those projections 106, 117, 106, 113, 106, 117. What's the bottom one? 100, 121. Okay, maybe not this. These lineups on the bottom aren't very good. Aren't nearly as good. 123, 122, 113, 111, 117. They're not bad. Okay, what's causing this? Okay. Let's make sure I guess we need to get more Manaya and Berrios. There's probably more Manaya than anything. So let's bump him up. Let's bump him. We'll just play. Screw it. Manaya 80. All positions. Sal Perez is not going to be 1% owned. That's why I said you can't necessarily go by this ownership. We're going to act like we are, but I wouldn't be counting on it. So let's go to the teams. Still going to way too much of these Red Sox. Let's now go back into the stacks and start controlling our secondary stack percentages because it's giving a lot of Red Sox because of that. So maybe I want more Seattle. Maybe I want this to add up to 100 or so. 15. So it's only in 25% of my lineups. Does that look pretty good? We could do something like that. We could barely have the Red Sox. We have some of the Red Sox. Do something like this. I still want to be kind of lighter on the Royals side. Or that game in general. 25-20. We bump that up. Do something like this. Okay. Hopefully maybe we get less of the Red Sox. in our 50 lineups. We don't mind. 50-50. We'll up this to 60-60. So we're not forcing ourselves to have 50 of each. Just no more than, maybe even upped it. We don't mind 70. I don't mind having more of the Mariners. So there. So you get a little leeway, Oh, secondary max exposure. I have to up even more. Right? So 30, 35, 25, something like that. Okay. Okay, we good here? Okay, now I want to build 50 lineups. Okay, let's see. I hope you're getting something out of this. I do that. People like it. For people look, obviously for the podcast version, people don't. People say, "Oh, I like when you live build and whatever." Okay, well now I'm doing it. Okay, delete these other builds. Okay, I built 50 lineups. I only want 20, but I'm going to find the lineups that I want now out of 50. Okay, so I'm going to go fantasy points high to low, ownership high to low, 123. What's the low? 79 at 98. Okay. So we're going to start taking a look. 106 at 117. 106 at 113. 106. Okay, we got 113. 113. Can we beat 113? Can we beat 113? Can we beat 113? Oh, not very highly. Okay, so I want the 1/3 this lineup. That lineup. Let's see. Can we beat 113? Okay, this is a 106 at 113. Can we beat 106 at 113? 105 at 115. That isn't that bad, right? That isn't that bad. 106 at 113. 113. Let's go. Come on. Let's get a 114, 105 at 114. That isn't that bad. Right? It's a game stack, so if that game doesn't go, then screw it. Right? Santana, Devers. Yeah, Devers will be a little less owned. Okay, I don't mind that. Give me that. Okay, 97. Okay, now we're talking. Definitely. Give me this lineup. 104 at 97. Right? Much better than that lineup. 104 at 96. Okay, there you go. Bingo. 104. 104. Can we beat 104? 104 at 103 with Bowers? We get another Mariners stack in here with, okay, I don't mind this. I don't mind this lineup. A little bit less than the other one, but doable. So get more Mariners. Okay, I see 104 at 121. I don't want that. 104 at 109 with the Mariners. Okay. I don't mind giving up a little for the Mariners. 104 at 123. 104 at 113. 104 at 104 at 96. With we get some Vlad. Okay, that's fine. Give me that. Okay. We're scrolling down. 102 at 106. Wong, Devers, Martinez. Barrios, Rodon. Can we do better than this? Can we do better than 102 at 106? Let's see. 102 at 106. 102 at 100. Yeah, give me that instead. There you go. 102 at 100. 102 at 105. Oh, I don't mind this. I think it gives us a Blue Jay stack with a Dunning. Okay, I don't mind that. Let's see. What else do we got here? 116s, 120s. This is remember, I'm doing this assuming that ownership is correct. Projected ownership, right? If it's not correct, none of this will matter. These numbers don't matter anymore. 98 at 79. So obviously it's much lower projection, but also you're getting requisite ownership drop from this. So I don't mind this. So there. So let's take a look at that. See, like 97 at 112, I'm not going to do. So how many lineups have I saved out of those 50? 10. 10. I only saved 10 of them. Okay. So let's see if we could find more lineups. Okay. We're almost done. I'm just going to speed it up a little. Those are 10 lineups that we're saving. Okay. I'm going to go build. Go to the stacks page. Okay. I want to find much lower owned lineups. Give me 100 max. Give me unique players 2, just so I get just some of them. Maybe I want like 9. I want low, 95. Okay, let's see what we could find in 50 lineups at 95. Basically, I want to take the highest projection now of these lineups, right? So total fantasy points high, right? I want to take something like this, like high at 105 at 92. Give it to me. 105 at 93. Depends on how many Red Sox. What do I have in my saved lineups? Okay, I don't have that much Red Sox. I really don't. I really don't have that much Red Sox, so I don't mind that. Let's go to this build. I don't mind having that Red Sox stack. Right? So here is a 4-3-1 with Crawford, 105 at 93. 105 at 86. Ooh. Do we get something better than that? Okay, let me take that. 105 at 86. Do we get any lower? 88 with Bichette, Perez, Barrios. This looks almost like some too many of the other lineups. Okay, 84. We got an 84 down here. Danny Santana. Let's not have so much Danny Santana in here. 74. This ain't bad, even with Danny Santana. Yeah, let's take that lineup. 94, 91, 87, 92, 87, 85. At least it doesn't have Danny Santana in it. This lineup, Barrios, Minaya. Can we get a non-Danny Santana lineup, please? 94, 95, 90, 74 with Danny Santana. I want a non-Danny Santana lineup, please. We got a non-Danny Santana. We got Donaldson lineup in here, 94. Okay. We could do better than that. 90, 95, 89, 93, 94, 84 with Devers, Rodon Dunning, Fraley in it, 99. Can we do better than 99, 84? Let's see. Can we do better than 99, 84? 98, 7. Okay, we already got this lineup. That's why it's there. So 98 at 79. Can we beat that? Can we beat 79? Let's see. No. Not really, right? You really can't beat 79. This is kind of the bottom end. I don't mind this one. Get some Nelson Cruz, get a one-off in there. Right? 94, 91, 92. Where's that 84? Yeah, this is the one. Right? This one. Okay, how many lineups do we got? 16. We're close. We're close. We're close. Let's try this again. Okay, let's go max ownership down to 75. Let's see. We're almost done. We're almost done. Okay. What's the top? Oh, we got 103 at 71 with Danny Santana. Still leaves with Danny Santana in it. Can we get one with not Danny Santana? I believe I've if I go to my saved lineups, I probably have tons of Danny Santana. 50% Danny Santana. Do I want that? I have so much Jorge Soler though. Right? Okay, so maybe not as much Soler and Perez. Right? Because it's really the Royals that are pushing up that ownership. So maybe a non-Soler. Maybe I don't mind Santana now. Maybe just a not Soler line. So let's go back to the build. So I want non-Soler. Okay, and he's only in 44%. So I'm looking for a non-Soler lineup towards the top. So we'll say Soler. Okay, this one has Danny Santana in it though. Just for time purposes, we'll take this. Non-Soler, non-Danny Santana also. So here we go. Maybe how many line? We got two more lineups to go. Non-Soler, non-Danny Santana. We got this. Non-Soler, non-Danny Santana. We got Carlos Santana. So there you go. Pick that one. just to speed things up. Maybe less, no Perez either. I don't want Sal Perez in my lineup. Oh, Jeffers. Oh, here's perfect. We got Jeffers and here, no Soler, no Danny Santana, no Sal Perez. So there. And maybe not as great of a lineup. We got okay, Lurie Garcia has been scratched, but who cares? We're not playing. So there's the 20 lineups. Save lineups, 20. I end up with all the Sal Perez because he's only projected for 1% owned. That's not going to be right. So there. Do you see I'm picking lineups? Do you see I'm not just like using exposures or whatever? I'm picking lineups. I'm picking lineups. I want the highest projection for the lowest ownership within some type of correlative construction. And if I end up with so much of the one guy, then so be it. Then that's what I end up with. Turns out that I'm playing a lot of Minaya and Berrios. But I also, remember, strategically beforehand said, I'm going to play Berrios instead of Rye. I'm basically attacking Ryu and Eovaldi because those are the worst pitchers that are going to be owned. Minaya and Rodon are better pitchers than those other two. So why don't I stack against the two worst pitchers that are going to be 30, 40% owned? So I had to think of that beforehand and then put together my player pool that goes along with that. Know that I'm building 20 lineups and then start looking at what lineups look like. What do they look like? 5-man stacks, 4-man stacks, 3-3s, whatever. What do they project for? What are they owned? And see what looks good in comparison. And then you go and you pick your lineups. If you're playing 150, you don't have to necessarily go through this much of a manual process, but I'm doing it slowly just to show you the concept. That I didn't go in and like, oh, I'm not playing this guy or that guy. No, I'm just looking at lineups. What are they owned and what are they projected for? Based on the player pool that I've already curated. And there you go, 20 lineups. That's why I chose to do 20 today. 150, I'll be more on the exposure side. But in 20, you could pick out 20, right? If you're going to do a 20 build. And you could do it just like this. So I hope you get something out of this. I do this every so often. I didn't let the optimizer tell me what to do. I wasn't fiddling around with exposures the entire time. I went 15%. I want to be over the field with this guy and under the field. No. I'm picking out lineups. Which lineups are better in comparison? And towards the end, now I'm trying to kind of diversify. I could have picked out all those lineups with Soler and just had 100% Soler. I could. Do I want my entire slate to be decided by Jorge Soler? That's how much risk, how much management of risk do you want to have? Especially when I could find similar lineups that don't have Soler in it, that I don't have to play all the Soler. So that's what I chose. Same for Danny Santana. It's like, how much Danny Santana am I playing? So you go, picking lineups. And if you want, whichever process you want to do to pick those lineups, go, do it. Done. So these are the 20 lineups. Assuming that everyone's in, right? I'll even show you, like, because people don't believe. People don't believe. They don't believe I eat my own dog food. I'm exporting the lineups to the CSV. Okay. Where's my Excel? I'm gonna literally put them in right now. These are the lineups that I'm playing in the bat flip. I'm playing 20 lineups in the bat flip. So I'm cutting and pasting in Excel, going over, paste, file, save. Okay, that's saved. I'm going right to DraftKings, upload CSV, right? You see me doing it right there. Done. Those are the lineups. There you go. That's how that's exactly how I would build my lineups. Of course, I would be close to the lock and not just during the show. But there you go. But that's what I do on the show. This is what we do. Lineup building every once in a while. So hit that thumbs up button on your way out the door. Thummy thumbs, give me those thummy thumbs. Subscribe if you're new here. Click that notification bell to know when we go live. We got Grinders live later today for the main slate coming up. And tune back in. Tune back in. We'll go over what happened yesterday on both these slates tomorrow. Casual Friday. That's tomorrow. So check it out. As you could always do, Mondays through Fridays at 11 o'clock Eastern on the DFS pregame show on RotoGrinders.com.